Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. What we'll be doing today is modernizing my old G500 by adding a aux Bluetooth adapter to the ancient Mercedes Benz command unit that's in this vehicle. But first, let's roll the intro. Even though we'll be doing this on a G-Wagon, what you're about to see is also applicable to pretty much any Mercedes Benz from this era that has this exact command unit. A lot of models did, the CLK, the C-Class. Now, if you have the plain normal stereo radio that Mercedes labels as Audio 10, this will not be applicable to that. The reason behind it is that that normal stereo simply does not have the proper connector in the back for the aux to be added. So I'll put in a picture of this right here. This unit is not capable of having an aux in this way. You can add an aux with other types of adapters, but it will not look factory and it will not look as clean. The first step to add the aux or Bluetooth is to get the proper thing, and it's this. So don't mind this is for my phone because my phone doesn't have a headphone jack. But the same process will apply to adding a Bluetooth. So even some of these also come with a aux and a Bluetooth adapter built in. So two things. Some only have this, some only have Bluetooth, and some have both. So it's completely up to you which one you choose. I like having a wire connected to my phone. Gives me the perception, at least, of having the best audio. Still, considering that this only cost me $10, I really doubt that, but that's my personal perception of things. I like having a proper wire connected to my phone when I play audio. So, the first thing is, like I said, you'll need this. This is how the little adapter looks like, and it needs to be connected to the media behind it. So, how we're going to do this is, firstly we need to take this thing out. The first step in doing this is removing the ashtray. The thing is that the ashtray is behind the gear lever and this thing is kind of in the way. So what you'll need to do is the following. We'll need to actually move this out of the way with the vehicle not running. And as you can see, it is a little bit impossible right now. But there's a nifty trick to it. And I'll show you right now. You see this little thing here underneath the D? When you press it with your finger, it goes down. So what you'll need to do is take a thin object like this quarter-inch extension that I have and carefully put it in there and push it all the way down until you hear a noticeable click. Holding it with one hand, you can now successfully move the gear lever out of the way. This gives us ample room to work on this part of the center console. We'll need to open up the ashtray, remove anything that's in the way, and there are two small Phillips head bolts that hold it in. So let me grab a Phillips head bit, put it on my screwdriver, and let's remove these. Can put the bolts inside the ashtray so that they don't get lost. And my ashtray is a little bit broken. Makes a horrible squeaking and rattling sound. Because now we pull it out, as you can see, the parts where the small bolts attach, they're actually broken on both sides, so it's not able to properly hold it in place. So it makes this horrible squeaking sound every time I go over a bump. It's terrible, but that's just how it is. All of this is going to get facelifted, but for now, at least while I'm gathering the parts, I do want to have the ability to play my own music. So anyways, let's continue on. This is the electrical connector for the ashtray, and it's very simple. You just press it right here and remove this teal green plug. With that removed, you can set the ashtray to the side. With the ashtray now completely removed, what you need to do is just pry out from underneath. Right here, just jam your fingers and pull straight out, just yank it out, and then work your way around it, and it will come right out. You might require a little bit of force to do it. You'll not break it, don't worry. Just carefully pry it out. There are some electrical connectors here in the top and some behind the AC controls, so you'll need to unplug those. It's very simple, just unplug it. 1 and 2 here for the AC controls. So the way this works is it's like this in the vehicle, and you have to put your finger right here to release this little guy, and it will come right out. Here on the top, this actually came unplugged. This is for the heated seats. Oops, sorry. This connector is actually for the heated seats. It's a little bit short, and when I pried out, it just removed itself. And there are 2 more for the G-Wagon in particular. This is, I believe, supposed to be for the rear wiper, because on the G-Wagon the rear wiper is controlled from the switch panel right here. And there is also another connector. This one, it controls pretty much all other functions, so the ESP, the hazard light switch, the locks, all that stuff. So with this removed, we can set it to the side, and now we have the navigation / media unit exposed. There are 4 Phillips head screws on either side holding it in. We'll need to remove those, and this should slide right out. So let's do that. With the screws removed, we just grab it and pull it out. It's a little bit heavy, so take note of that. Oh, and there is a screw here that I found. This, I guess this came from right here, considering that this is the only different screw that was put in. So someone was here messing with this at some point. So let's save that and replace this screw later on when I get to reinstall everything. So grab this and pull it out. It's nice to put something here underneath where you're going to lay this, so not to damage the wood trimming. So put that here. This is the wiring of the media / navigation unit, and as we can see, this is where our new plug for the aux needs to go, and someone already added something right here. So these wires, I actually don't know where they go, because I was not able to find an aux anywhere for this vehicle. So I guess someone messed with this at some point, but yeah. So we'll need to remove this, set it aside, and we need to take our new wires and plug that in instead. Alright, so now this is quite interesting. So what I had to do is, like you already saw, there was a connector here. This is the original connector that was in here, and it was built in this this plug. This, from the looks of it, is an original Mercedes Benz. Connector says here, you can see the tiny little logo, and on this plug as well. So I don't know what this was, but this is not an aux or Bluetooth or whatever. The thing is, as you can see, it's not. I also removed the plug of the new thing that I bought. You can see it right here. They're not even pinned to the same pins. The thing is that the new plug, this black one, the new connector came with this plug. It's not exactly the same one as on the original. So we have the original one right here. This is the eBay China special that I bought for 10 bucks. You can see they are very similar, but they're not the same. I guess this is the reason why this didn't want to go inside. But the pinout itself is exactly the same. So it's this little ridge here that prevents this eBay China special thing from plugging inside right here. So what I did is I actually removed this electrical connector from inside this plug. It's super simple because it goes in only one way. And what you need to do is pry it right here with a small, really small flathead screwdriver like this one. Just pry it out and remove it. So what I'm actually going to be doing right now is I'll leave this hanging. I'll take my new wire and see if we can actually jam this thing right here. And unfortunately no, because there are these little guides, and this, as you can see, it's not even close. It's not going to fit in there. So let's forget about the connector itself. Let's see if we can just align this to the plug and see what happens. And it goes right in. Perfect. So even without the plug, it goes in. So let's put this back just like this. It's not permanent, just so that we can test it out. Let me also grab my cable and attach it to the phone with which I'm currently filming, and let's see what happens. I have a Mercedes. All right, and it's already detected that we are on external audio source, externe audioquelle. Unfortunately, I don't have another audio source with me, so I cannot play music while I am filming, but I tried it off camera and it does work. I am able to play music from my phone. I played some music out of from YouTube, Spotify, everything works perfectly. So now all we'll need to do is put everything back in its place. But before we do that, I'm really interested to see if I can maybe dip in this connector, dip in the other original Mercedes connector that was here, and make a little Frankenstein out of all of them. This way, maybe I will be able to have an original looking rear end of my media. So let's see if I can do that. What I ended up doing at the end is I destroyed the Chinese special connector. I removed the wires with the pins from it, and I put them in the corresponding pin slots in the original Mercedes Benz connector. The reason for that is the following. So I did some reading on what those other wires that were already pre-configured from the turns out factory are, even though this connector doesn't seem that much factory Mercedes, but anyways, so what those wires were is two of them were for the CAN bus, so CAN high and CAN low, and the third one was like a speed sensor, so the audio turns up with the speed of the vehicle, and respectively lowers when you slow her down. So I kind of want to retain those functions, so this is why I did this, and by doing so I also kept the original Mercedes Benz plug and connector and wiring. This is good. Now this, the Chinese special plug and connector, all of that is going to the trash. I can confirm now, I've tested it off camera. Like I said, I cannot put the audio while I'm filming because I don't have another media source, but I'll see at the end of the video if I can attach a clip with me playing aux audio and filming how that's working. I also put in the correct screw right here. Now this sits flush. It actually, before it never did, it was hanging a little bit forward. Now this thing sits nice and flush with the other part of the dashboard on both sides, and it no longer squeaks. Before it would squeak, now it doesn't squeak anymore because whoever put, so like I said, someone was messing with this before. They put this screw, which is very long and completely wrong as well. Anyways, this is done. Now all it's left is to put everything back together, which is the reverse of the removal. So I'm not going to spend that much time on it, and I'll put everything back and we'll continue on with some other nice interesting stuff. So it's finished. Looks nice, clean. Here is where I routed the cable. It's not the perfect spot, but I really didn't want to mess with the glove box or remove everything here to route the cable to the center console right now. So at least for the time being, it's where it's gonna stay. Don't mind all of that. That's for the G-Wagon as well, but it's for a later video. Still waiting for some parts, and yeah, stay tuned for that. We'll do a complete interior overhaul of this thing, make it look nice, fresh, with everything facelifted. But for now, this is it. As usual, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer to all of them as usual. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.